Hello, dear detectives. Hello, everyone. Here is Andy. Welcome to the bonfire. And we meet here for Disco Elysium, the final cut. I think it is investigation stage number 8. And last time we stopped at a cliffhanger. And had a long working day today, but I don't think I have exhausted all my resource, and I think I want to maybe play for an hour or two and see what happens next with our dear characters. And we hear music playing. I think it's from our boombox. Can I maybe change it into something else, maybe a plastic bag, because it's kind of loud. So we stopped at the moment when we interviewed Classia, and now we have to make this decision. Should we arrest her and should we not? And that's quite a conundrum, because I don't know. So let's save the game and try.
Officer.
Yes, it's
Lies.
me. She repeats, then trails off. It's unclear what she intended to say.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear.
Drama changed the course so sharply. What if I told you you're under arrest, miss?
But I haven't done anything illegal.
She backs up against the railing with a forced smile on her face.
She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case. Fucking mind games. Enough. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in.
You misrepresented information about the case without the Hardy's confection with no nothing.
The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Please no.
Her eyes become round with fear. She tries to back further off.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you.
What do you know? Who shot him?
She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for certainty. Then, in a hushed voice, she says, "Gearing up for this betrayal is hard for her."
Ruby.
Why do you think it was her?
She has this thing for me. Ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants.
And what is that?
Sex. And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, but...
I don't understand. What exactly in your relationship made you think she's romantically interested in you?
The lieutenant sounds incredulous. He still has the cuffs in his hand.
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship.
And you led her on?
He narrows his eyes.
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more.
I don't know what to make of this.
I know what this sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs. Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan.
This is a familiar theory. You had it too, remember? Could it be that Ruby was covering up after herself, the lynching? Yet again, you're coming up with this. The worst thing is, it may be true.
When Ruby said there would be shit happening if you didn't end your relationship with the deceased, Was she threatening you?
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. I've been threatened before, so I can tell when someone knows how to do it. And she's a pro. She must be, to keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but
She looks through the window of her room.
Some of that fear is still with her. She exhales sharply. What are you talking about? She's afraid you'll arrest her.
And how could she have killed him?
you said there was a secret route there, right?
She points to the door that leads to the pinball workshop.
She could have come up through there, then taken this shot, right here, where I stand. It was too dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing. That is possible.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists? Had you been out there with her?
Yes, of course. She's been up here many times, jacking private stations off the ring antenna. She used to come here to drink on the roof with me, before it got weird.
Okay, that's it for Ruby.
Okay, and what? Arrest the liar now.
Mm-hmm. Who?
Her. Stop letting her distract you.
I think I'll keep you here, miss, for now.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret it.
She cradles herself for warmth.
Something tells you, you will.
Let's change the subject.
She slowly.
I want to go back and see Titus. But I have a suspicion that when I come back, she'll be gone.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike
Oh.
the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo.
I've completely forgotten that we have to inspect the window again.
This window is pristine on... A vague sense of disappointment fills you.
Let's load the file. Don't want to fail it. Well, that's quite a conundrum to solve. I'm afraid she'll now escape after our conversation with Titus, and we don't know how Titus
This
will
window
react.
is pristine. Golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed. A two-hearted spider.
Spider. What position are they in?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth, a ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain. From the roof outside, location A prime, the glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back.
Let's inspect the ghostly figures.
The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization.
Have a look at point A. What was that? A prime, the roof.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
Shouldn't be there gun residue outside?
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
So I'm what? 80% sure the roof is where the shot was made from.
72%, with a weapon that fires jacketed ammunition, likely a rifle. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot. The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium, a well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside, in the darkness, too busy with their own bodies.
Could the shot have come from inside the room, a closer point?
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, Detective.
Are there any arguments against A prime, the roof?
None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
Could there have been another point of origin, further away?
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Let's extrapolate the radius to include all of Martinez.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime.
More precisely?
B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet, Detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on.
Okay, the boardwalk.
700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account.
Land's End.
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
And the islet.
1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea, as you saw in the coin-operated viewer. The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme, and access to the islets is questionable.
Kim, do you think the shot could have come from further than the roof in Martinez?
From where, precisely?
Let's say B prime, the boardwalk, B double prime, Land's End, and B triple prime, the islet.
I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance?
Much less than from the roof, but still.
Okay, well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Rule these spots out one by one. It would be the diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, I'm going with the roof version. It fits the hidden path through the whirling. A simple hypothesis.
Let's blink and leave. Now, let's go downstairs, talk to Titus. I'm inclined to arrest Classia because she's lying too much, and it won't harm you. It won't harm her, I think. But well, it will also ruin her life to some extent, which is exactly harming. Wow, that's complex. I don't know. My hunch tells me that she's lying. But so, Titus, tell me, what do you think?
It's you again. What is it?
What is it? I talked to Classy, now I need to talk to Ruby.
Why?
He leans back and regards you with curiosity. Because she's your real leader?
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it, or fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off!
I'm going to level with you. She's next linked to the chain that leads me to Letty's killer, or I have seen her in Londanum-induced delirium. The paranormal instinct whispers her name into my ear. What? Look, I need to pin this on someone. I've decided to pin this on her. I suspect she killed the victim, that's why, and she's a suspect in another case I'm investigating, a drug smuggling. Well, let's go with the first.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
Throws a glance at Titus as the last syllable leaves his lips. This big guy sighs.
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
Right, we have some logic check there, which is good. I'm going to come back, but I just wanted to call the station to check what kind of a weapon shot that bullet. I think it should be quite helpful. And now I kind of regret talking to that old lady in the beginning, because that ate a lot of our time, and now we are running short of it, direly short, and could play a bad joke on us. Ow, that's the Kinema car.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Radio.
This is Precinct 57.
Not
How may I
Sylvie.
assist you?
Have you heard back from the ICP about the serial number?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Bétancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Oranese pharmaceutical companies in the Seminine conflict. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued.
Do you know what's called now?
The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Crenel, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
I made a mistake. I didn't, of course, send any bullet analysis to be done. I didn't request, and what I did request was a serial number, the serial number of this armor that we inspected on the dead body. So now we're having it. So first, has the firm continued to work for pharmaceutical companies through all these name changes?
Hard to say. Their client list is rather diverse and incomplete. The only constant seems to be that the mercenaries are always deployed in third and fourth world countries.
A suit of armor like this would have been customized to fit the wearer. There must be a record of the person to whom it was issued.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
Yeah, please.
This is a fun challenge for her, an opportunity to contribute beyond doing her job by rote. She'll gladly put in the extra effort for Team RCM.
Yes, thank you, officer. I really appreciate your efforts in this case.
Glad to help. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have more for you then.
Yeah.
57's over and out.
Over
In the
and out.
cabin, you
Over and out. Now, could we do anything else in the street? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's go back to Titus and present him with this case why Ruby is the suspect, or I should say a suspect, because there are many. I think I have a chance to improve my logic by putting on some glasses. No, I already have these glasses on me, so then we just go and...
It's you again.
It's me again.
What is it?
It's a logical statement I'm going to put forward.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Why why is so sure Ruby didn't off him?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night? 12:25 to 12:15? She was here during all that time?
I think there was some strange voice in here. Should have been 11:30.
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
She didn't go to the toilet?
No.
That's a lie.
You know that's not the case.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Cop. And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof.
So you do agree that the shot came from the roof, right?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez. Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
There's a 72% chance that the bullet came from the roof.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
Definitely lie. The truth is not credible.
No, I analyzed it on the spot. Turns out I can do that.
No, you can't. I know what you did here on the weekend. People talk. And what they say doesn't sound like a science cop. You're a madman.
Those numbers were an asshole, man.
Yeah, and they don't put her on the roof either. It's just mambo jumbo. He hasn't got shit.
A skilled sambo artist could have climbed the outer wall like a spider.
Garbage. It wasn't a Sambo artist cop. I've been doing this for 10 years. Let me give you a lesson. Boys,
It's never a Sambo fighter, and it's never a bullet-bending sniper.
Or ghost. It's never a ghost either. Don't worry, we've got better than that.
There is a secret... No. Have you noticed the winch out back on the outer wall of the Berlin?
I've seen the winch. I'm not blind. You saying she reeled herself up by her collar. Like some kind of...
He can't come up with an analogy.
Kidding?
Let's go with that. Point is, it's just a rusty winch. It doesn't put her on the roof.
There is a secret route in the kitchen that leads straight to the roof.
How?
He looks sincerely curious. Through what looks like an abandoned pinball workshop. Good evening, sir. Hello, Carolinos. Nice to see you here, man. Welcome.
People say there was a pinball arcade here, sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
The elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
From there, a door leads straight to the roof. You can just step outside.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Just now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
Have we firmly established Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot?
Firmly? Firmly. Doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we've established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that. And Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun. Just don't contradict yourself. If it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself.
I have analyzed the bullet that killed him. It was jacketed.
So,
The man shrugs and looks at you.
So it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those. This goes against your short-range theory. If the murder weapon was military grade, how did Ruby get it?
I can say, you're right, I'm never solving this case, it's too complicated. Or I'm just being upfront with what I know, and just because it's rare doesn't mean you can't get it. No, let's go this kind of cooperative.
Right. That's mighty forthcoming of you. So, let me extend you the same courtesy. She's connected to you know what.
Organized crime. Down in Jamrock, probably. He's not being too forthcoming. This is not a surprise.
So she may have access to semi-automatics, but that's a long fucking stretch of the imagination.
There's a small 28% chance that shot came from beyond the roof.
Yes, goddammit, I know what a 72% chance means. It means there's a 28% chance it isn't that. And 28% is no small chance either.
Just making sure we are on the same page. It doesn't all fit. We are just sharing info, candidly.
I've already established Ruby's running drugs. She could have smuggled guns too.
God damn, that's just about your favorite topic, isn't it? Every fucking 5 seconds.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, from what I saw in her cabin, she'd have no trouble getting a gun.
Trouble. This is Revachol. Even the roid heads in the gym had a carbine. No one has trouble getting a gun. I still never saw her carry one.
He must be referencing some past case of theirs. He's angry because he knows you're right. What he's saying only confirms your theory.
Local pawn shop sold my lost gun to a woman. Maybe it was her. Well, maybe yes. Let's try this.
You lost your gun?
The blonde man is taken aback, not even laughing.
What an idiot!
Tell me, did you lose it before the murder?
No, I lost it after I arrived, so no. Health critical.
Of course not. And Ruby didn't use your lost gun to kill him.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about your lost gun, damn it. You'll get a heart attack.
This was merely a thought exercise. He did not lose his gun. Let's move on.
Oh, that's so pathetic. I didn't say it proved she had the murder weapon, just that we need to find her.
I don't know, Cop. Why don't you find your lost gun first?
The dude man bursts out laughing at his own joke.
Easy now, Al. This isn't comedy hour.
Titus, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
He almost gets up from his seat.
Phase 3. Motive. The last component.
Classy told me some pretty interesting things about Ruby.
Yeah. Like what?
Apparently she had a thing for Classy.
A thing? You mean?
He tilts his head to the side and falls silent.
Behind his squinting eyes, dominoes are falling. Fast. It's all beginning to make sense to him now.
Yeah, but They're both girls.
The fat man looks up from the table, oblivious.
Girls like girls too, Angus, sometimes. This is one of those times. She liked Glacier.
Explains Kim. What Kim said.
Fuck you. First he says she's murdered him. Now she's a too? It's a lie.
The man can't believe what he's hearing.
Come on, Glenn. She likes Monica's titties more than you do. Everyone knows which way the wind blows there.
Mask smiles.
I did. I knew it. That's why she didn't fuck me at Fatty's birthday party.
She didn't fuck you, 'cause you're 40, and you still live with your mom, Dennis.
Light laughter sounds off in the room. It feels nervous. Classy said she made advances on her and she thwarted them.
Ruby then threatened her and told her to end her relationship with the deceased.
This is some sordid shit. It's also the kind of garbage our Miss Aronier puts out to cover her own ass.
The big man rubs his chin. She did tell us when we were close to arresting her.
Figures. But that Ruby is queer as cabaret, now that I start thinking about it. So there is some truth to it. And that's okay. Some are queerer than others. You can still be a Hardy. But if you bring your own personal shit into our outfit...
If that's the case, then it's not right. But it's not the case, right?
There are many pieces that fit together that way, Eugene. Face it.
When Classy came downstairs, Ruby appeared to know that something was wrong.
Nah, man. That's just Ruby. She's got shit under control. That's her whole thing. That's why she's so good.
Plus, man, it's like female intuition, you know. Women talk to women. Which is sort of why we need someone on the team who they talk to.
Eugene wants a woman on the team so they can do their job. That must be hard. Half of Martinez is female.
The first one, female intuition. No, I'm not going with this one. I think it's quite a possible thing. Yes, she's just got her shit together. That's how she knew. Or she knew what happened because she killed him.
Not so useful.
Titus looks at Alan, then Eugene.
Fucking hell.
The blonde man is in some kind of anguish that makes him stare at his garlic bread bowl intently. It's not why did she kill him, it's why did she organize the cover-up.
And I suppose you have a theory about that too, cop.
She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Little man squints, eyes beady.
Really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Let's say, Eugene, let's assume you killed him.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Would you prefer to go on trial with your friends as part of a lynch mob, or alone for committing murder?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardy Code, boss.
Which is why she didn't. This is fucking stupid, Titus. This and the queer thing, all of it. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
The blonde man waves his beer around.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Maybe it's all part of a leadership challenge against you, Titus?
There's no fucking leadership challenge. Just when I thought you were taking this seriously, cop, you put your head in your ass.
Man, now he's just throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks.
Okay. We ruled out infighting. That's how this works, by exclusion. Remember, all we need to do is rule Ruby out too. That's all this is.
So Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. We need to talk to her.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Want to know why?
He smiles a peculiar smile. Why?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
He looks you straight in the eye.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior, why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
He looks out of the window again. When did she leave?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
What was she scared of?
I told you. You.
Me as in the RCM?
No, you. As in the cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
Don't forget the funny too. The funny tie too.
How can I forget?
He nods at your tie. Yeah, I have it.
You and I are going to dance in the moonlight under 1 billion stars.
Oh yes, we are.
You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Let's
I told you.
try again.
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
I'm sorry, God, why does everything flee at the sight of my shadow? No, that's really pathetic. No wonder she's afraid. I have come to declare the ending of the human experiment. And I have no idea why I should be scared. I'm just a normal cop with regular thoughts in his head. That's absolutely false. So, the human experiment has to be ended.
Sure. The human experiment. That's real funny.
It is! He looks at you without smiling.
You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Now some confirmation from a gang's boss. What else did Ruby tell you about me?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Won't stop?
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener.
What?
That you play suspects against each other. Open them up. Like cans.
What?
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
The tattooed man shakes his head.
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it. Whack him. Or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
Silence. He nods.
Is that true, Kim? Am I a can opener?
You are insistent.
Anything else? Anything?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This cop, Titus. This cop, he... But she was too scared.
What? Do you have any clues on where Ruby went?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry. So, she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al. And we won't either.
He gives a sharp look.
She's not really a hardy candidate anymore, is she?
The man stares into his beer.
She's not, Glenn.
Wow. Have you looked for her?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlock. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Could you tell me where on the coast I should start looking?
Sure, there's some shit houses there. A cinder block town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So, that's one place we haven't looked.
Got it.
I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
Do you know what she's doing with Ulan frequencies?
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
He looks around.
She said she's building a pale emitter.
His voice is very quiet.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Pale something.
Thanks. Titus put an end to it. It's not much, but it'll do.
It'll have to.
He puts his hand out. Shake it.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
You should be a cop, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
His cops. It's a good point. It's a good point. I'm going to take a screenshot of that too, for the record.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
That's a very uplifting conversation, but I have a suspicion that Classy now is away, but let's first check the thought.
Call the Mama Dakwa.
Okay.
It's not only your eardrums that register sound anymore. Your very skin has become an organ of hearing. Looking for a whisper, light and low. A god who's very, very silent. Nothing escapes you. A cockroach in the other room. A candy wrapper falling on dry grass. A drunk falling from a chair in a bar 20 meters away. In fact, you haven't heard the Col du Mama Dakwa, but you have discovered that you have amazing hearing. It must be the only part of you the alcohol hasn't drowned out. Keep listening.
Whoa, +3 perception. Do you see that, guys? Perception 6 now. Encyclopedia 4, so we have to... I know what we have to do now. We have to invest 1 point in Encyclopedia because I don't want to be losing the checks there. And I want to increase perception to level 7 now, just to make it absolutely astonishing. And notice things we haven't noticed before. Hopefully there will be enough. Maybe some loot, maybe some money. That's just amazing. And we still have 1 skill point left to invest somewhere, I think. Maybe... well, I think we are cool for now. Let's check that bush. That probably contains a key. But no. So it's not the bush near the corner room. I mean, I thought it was... Who is that girl? These are people who come in the evening. So this is not the bush the game meant. And it's not this bush either. Maybe it's this one. What if I put on... what if I take a torch in my hands? Maybe this will help somehow, but I didn't see any help from torches. What? Equip this to discover secret orbs in shady areas. Okay, perception does what? See, hear, and smell everything. Let no detail go unnoticed. High levels in every final detail of the physical world. Overwhelmed. Yeah. So hopefully that will help us with something in our game. So far, I don't see any hidden stash or boxes or containers, but we'll check that. Where is the key to the bottom door? And I wonder if Classy is still on the balcony. Could she have escaped? No, she's here. She hasn't escaped. Classy.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Should we arrest her?
Lies.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us.
Let's
We
talk
demand
about you
her
and Ruby
inside.
again.
She nods, then nervously pulls on her cigarette.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing there. Why have we not arrested her yet?
She slowly
Change the subject and leave. I don't know. Should we arrest her or we should not? Let's go into this room now, because our perception has been increased and maybe we'll learn something new. And we have now a flashlight. Maybe I have skipped something important. And like that, for example. And our book has this ask about Ruby in the village. In the village we can be only on Wednesday. First go across the waterlock south of Martinez, yeah. And then determine where the shot came from. Check Land's End for bullet traces. Boardwalk for bullet traces. And check Island for bullet traces. We'll see that. So, that orb. Tiny hole in the wall. You see a bedroom on the other side. A tiny hole in the wall? Whoa. No, not Kim. I want to inspect these footprints again. Maybe something
you clearly
else?
see.
Jackpot.
Nothing. So there was somebody here. But there isn't anything else to inspect. Maybe I should go downstairs now with my perception high. Who knows? I'll maybe find out something that I didn't discover last time. My brain gears are actually aching now because it feels really complicated. So
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock.
it won't budge, so we need a key. Let's go upstairs. Where should we go now? It's not 9 o'clock yet, so we cannot proceed with the quest. We shouldn't arrest Classy because Titus will be very disappointed about that. We don't want to disappoint Titus. Arresting Classy will ruin her life because her murderers will come for her. On the other hand, it might be that it was her murderers who actually shot... what was his name? Starts with L. Lily, the dead body. And in this case, it means that Classy is just covering herself up with this shitload of lies. And maybe she's just innocent, a victim of the circumstances. I don't know. Maybe we have something interesting in my room now. With my high perception. Do we? Oh, okay. Words fail to describe how rank it smells in here. They should have sent a poet. It's perception talking now. Yeah. It's perception talking to us. I could have talked to Evhard, but Evhard now is, I think, missing. I mean, probably he has gone from the office, and there's no use trying to talk to him. Now, I don't see anything because of this crazy disco light. Hey man, can you talk? It's all about money, no? I know, it's all about money, I agree. Okay, let's go to the street. What can we do in the street? I wonder if that was the boardwalk. What was that boardwalk that we meant by inspecting the trajectory for the bullet? What kind of boardwalk? Oh, you see now? Perception gives us some... There's something down there. Something down there. What? The musty smell of potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent. And this is what? Oh, just off with you. What's boardwalk? Where is it? And green orb, it's just information. So don't have it. Oh, this is went to the village on the coast, officer. See you there. Joyce says the note in the post. No, no, Joyce, are you serious? I thought I would talk to you in the evening, at night. Oh, such a disappointment. The village. Hell, that's awful. Too bad. Too bad. This is a roof. Where is the boardwalk? Items. Map of Martinez. That's the cockatoo book. I don't need it now. Where is the map of Martinez?
The
Here it
worn
is.
map features the patchwork grid.
Yeah, but I want to look at it. Do I have maps in this game, actually? I do? No. Yes, it's kind of a map. I just didn't look here. Yeah, actually I do have a map, of course. Mirror, yes. But does it help us with the naming? Boardwalk. This one is kind of a boardwalk, right? So we have to go there. It seems that it could be a trajectory to shoot. So let's go upstairs and inspect the area. Could help. Could really help. And I have a suspicion that Cuna's father might be awake now. Let's open the door. Hey man, haven't you woken up yet?
The aging alcohol.
He's still sleeping. Amazing. Cuna de Ruyter is the name of unfinished homework. It's from 2 years ago. Poor child. 2 years ago. This one is moss crawls on those bathroom tiles. Actual moss. With perception now we have more details, but they are kind of not really useful, at least yet. And inside here, anything with our perception? No, nothing. Let's peek into this door, into this room, broken one. Here there is a cabinet, which we didn't see last time. In the cabinet there is book 16 Days of Coldest April. Oh, okay. The cover features a row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky. It tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during a period of ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. Something to do at night. When our time stops progressing, we'll read the book. So we have two books now. This Cockatoo and the newly found one. That's good news. What next? Any wait a second. Boardwalk. This and this. Ah, it's the pier. Oh, it's not. I'm standing here right now. I'm mistaken. It wasn't what he meant. So the boardwalk is here, then? Or not? What is this freaking boardwalk? And how do I locate it? How do I... do we have any, like, clickable things on this map? No? Okay, let's come back to the quest description. Determine where the shot came from. Check Land's End for bullet traces. Check Boardwalk for bullet traces. And check Island for bullet traces. Where are these locations? Where I should find them? I have no idea. Who put the clothes in trash? Booze and drink it. Sing karaoke. Well, let's ask this lady now. Maybe she knows something.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
No, I haven't. And I don't want to confiscate her brush. It's cruel. Now, can I open something here? I cannot. So, with regret, have to say that there isn't anything to do here. But let's... Okay, as we are here still, we can find... Maybe we can find something in this room that we haven't seen before. Yeah, with higher perception. Everything has to be checked. Again, like this. 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath the grate. The rats of the city. Well, not very useful, but cannot complain. At least it is a fact. I just have a suspicion that there is some kind of potential to this, like get some experience each time there is an yellow orb. Maybe there is some money to be received for that, but we don't have this perk at this current moment. Maybe we should talk to the driver who is a poet. Maybe he knows something and he'll share. Alright, so here is now useless, as Joyce has left. How to beat him. Let's run and inspect all the other areas. Well, running is quite frustrating here, I should say. It's so slow and quite clanky. I wish we could speed up a bit. Kim, what are you doing? Kim, wait a second. Kim, what's... Look, he's behaving on his own. Kim, man. Kim, excuse me? Kim, don't you want to talk? Man. Hey. The hell? Kim. I'm talking to you. Stop this. Contemplating. What are you doing? Look at them. Look at him. He just ignores me. What? Alright, let's try again. Here, upstairs. Man, why?
Yes?
Yes, why don't you want to talk to me here and you just look at the ocean?
Yes?
That's very interesting, but I think I won't find an answer for this conundrum at this point. Right. Let's go. Let's go and first of all check the waterlock, and oh, there is something here to be read, and that would be scribbled between the thighs of a page 3 girl, Lorraine de Disco. What? So, the waterlock is still not operating. I'll come here tomorrow, I guess, when it is possible to... Can I close it now, actually? We know that there is this switch. Can I use it?
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light used to be, and a mechanical lever sitting in the middle. This panel usually closes the waterlock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
Let's leave. Don't want to lose time. I can come at night and play with these dialogue options for any time long, but now clock is ticking. I have to have some valuable conversations while I have time. So, hey man.
Make way for the master.
Okay, he got nothing else to tell us. Who else potentially we can talk to? And by the way, we don't have money to rent a room now. Well, maybe Mr. Earhart is... what's that? What's that? Hypnogamma. +3 morale. Well, I have a lot of healing for my morale. And I have only one thing to heal my health points, and that's kind of alarming, because that might result in my death at some point when I get some decent damage that will probably finish my miserable life. Okay, so a giant S print on the pillow and the pattern of coffee rings on the arm set, and the thought: someone is habitually chilling next to the radio. Okay. Let it be so. Here there is nothing. Okay, let's climb upstairs. I want to check if Mr. Earhart is still in his office. What if he is? Where will I get money for my night stay in this whirling in rags? Because I have collected all the possible bottles. I don't see any new ones in the streets. And I don't think I want to take another 20 coins from Kim. That will be so pathetic and so disrespectful. I know I spent some money on books again, and I probably could just live without them. So, Mr. Everard is still in the office. That's good news. Probably he has something to tell us. Hey, man.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always.
Oh, really? He grins as if nothing in the world bothers him.
Oh, I bet he's still fuming internally due to your no-sitting escapades. He doesn't like to lose a battle of will.
Where is the money, Lebowski? Well, who exactly reminds you of Lebowski here? Our character? Mr. Everhart? Kim? Me? Or my phrase about the fact that I don't have money? I'm told the union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any jolly fat guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
No comment.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
Lieutenant looks him in the eye.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Lieutenant quickly replies and then turns to you. Ask him. There is two of them anyway, so it could be guy and Cherndu. Huh. Okay. Do we have this question about money, by the way? We have only let's talk about my lost gun, so I can ask him, where is my gun, Evhart? But I'm reconsidering opening the door you asked me to open. Perhaps it will help me somehow. No, I'm not going to. Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age.
I think this this line should have appeared during our first conversation when we jumped over the fence to collect our jacket, and then we had to try this skill check several times. And now this is a very strange line because he himself gave us a card, this pass, security card. So, say nothing, I guess.
The big man peers at you over the rims of his glasses for a moment, then interlaces his fingers and rests his chin on his hands.
Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Okay. You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
He shrugs with an amazed expression.
I think the odds of that are very low.
He looks at you.
It might be a good idea to hide your confusion. I mean, see what his game is first.
It's true. My memory is a bit hazy. I think I want to be sincere with him.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps on his folder in front of him.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out. I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
He pauses to look down on a brown folder on his desk.
It's just a brown folder. You can't make out what's written on it.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Everhart over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
His eyes never leave yours.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Have another look at that folder.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
Oh, he says, grinning.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Now we know our name completely. Harry Dubois. It turns out the strikers were being served an alcoholic brew. I stopped this madness.
I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running lets me focus on the big picture stuff. Don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew, stronger, stopped it, strike. I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry.
I don't remember who we just benefited from that action. So, Evhard represents the Union. Who is striking? The Union is striking because that's Evhard who is sitting behind the fence. So, the fact that I stopped giving vodka with soup to the protesters actually made his game weaker. So he should be quite resentful about that. But he isn't showing that. Interesting. Okay. What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There is something special about it. It was attached to the Qualston crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
He says with the fondest of smiles.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Okay. Let's talk about my lost gun.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
He winks at you.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Hold on. Could he really hold my gun hostage?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
So I can read the options. Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your man factored that in? I will not be blackmailed with this gun business. He isn't blackmailing, so I shouldn't be aggressive. I don't care about my gun. Keep it. Does this mean if I do things for you, I'll get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
He turns to the lieutenant.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Lieutenant replies dryly. I don't want to work for him. He is so slimy, so that means no gun for us. I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along.
He adjusts the button on his sleeve.
One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals.
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you find your lost gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I'm helping you find your lost gun. Jealous guy, which means exactly the opposite. So we have options about meeting Joyce and then previous negotiator, previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances, lowballing her, why haven't you let her in to see you? Okay, I told Joyce that I met you.
It's perfectly okay. Even if you've told her everything we've talked about, it's absolutely fine.
Means the opposite?
He seems happy about the prospect of you telling Joyce about your conversations.
It sounds like you want me to tell her about our conversations.
No, Harry. I'm perfectly neutral and 100% for transparency. I know people say a lot of bad things about the Debarders Union, but we are actually squeaky clean.
He squeaks his chair.
Yes, he really doesn't seem to mind.
He seems incredulous.
Sure, he thinks. It's about transparency.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gorman?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He sounds annoyed. He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
He looks down and sighs. You called him a midget.
Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this?
He exclaims indignant.
Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Abruptly, he smiles and changes his tone. Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
The man frowned disapprovingly.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
He flicks his fingers.
This particular brand of humor he has, it makes for a fine distraction.
It does. It absolutely does.
If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
Joyce seems to think the union is lowballing her.
Yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
That's a valid point.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Well, I mean, he has a point. Okay, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret.
He makes an all-encompassing gesture.
Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
He looks around.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
It was. I like it, actually.
See you soon, Debarder. Just kidding, but not too much.
The big man raises his hand in farewell. I just want to save my game now. Yes, to save my game. And to...
Mr. Dubois, every worker...
Oh, he leans toward you, waiting for your to complete his sentence. Waiting for you, I guess, to complete his sentence. A member of the board is a living god, is an organ in the great state organism of war. Also looks just like me, or for himself. Well, free for everyone it is, the last option. Member of the board is a living god. I like the second option, but I want to play Evhard's flute. Just for the sake of this humorous conversation.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart too.
It does.
How can I help you today?
It does burn in our heart because we are what? We are... What's that? We are now communists with this suicide of Krasmazov. Well, we also have to explore Mazovian socio-economics, but I don't want to get this penalty for this visual calculus. I'll do it later. Yeah, I'll do it later. So, I've just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Yeah.
Actually, Revachol doesn't have a mayor. He refuses to discuss it further. It's probably just a small nuisance to him. Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
I'm reconsidering opening the door you asked me to open. Perhaps it will help me somehow. No, I won't do that. Meaning, let's go back to our other business. Yeah. Now this container that we were lifting down, sorry, not lifting down, of course, you can only lift up. We were doing what? Landing this container on the platform, and I wanted to just go and open that, even if we have to abuse our skill checks a lot of times, because it's such a fun show. I've seen it once with my last playthrough. You must see it too.
You're back before the cargo container.
Oh, it's rhetoric, actually. It's just rhetoric. Not very problematic. I think I can increase it by some -1 rhetoric. Rhetoric it is. Rhetoric it is. What else can increase our skill point? Nothing. Maybe something decreases it. Not really. Strange. I thought something improved our rhetoric. No. Okay, let's then just abuse. 17%.
You're back before the cargo container. Why are you?
Okay. 17% it is. Not really the lowest parameter we've successfully passed in our playthrough. We can do that, guys. We absolutely can. Because the show inside is absolutely astonishing. I'm telling you
You're
that.
back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Persuade the door to open. Erratic, yet thorough, +1. Been in the world for 2 days, +1.
Why are you even trying to...
I'll do that. I'll do that. I know I can. Last time I did it with 3% chance in my previous playthrough, so it's possible.
You're back before the cargo container. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
By the way, why are you trying? Because getting physical wasn't an option, or yeah, why am I?
Why are you what?
Lieutenant looks startled. Anything at all?
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
No, wait, Kim. It's absolutely time to get philosophical. You'll see, you'll see. Remember, you will get shocked yourself. Poor Kim. He doesn't want to believe our superpowers.
You're back before the cargo
Attempt
container.
number
Despite
4.
the dirt that surrounds and trails you, a beacon of light emerges from deep within you.
Hello? Is there anybody in there?
The door stands silent.
Satisfied, detective?
A wry smile crosses Lieutenant's face. Wait, who'll be smiling last?
Try again.
If there is someone in there, I'd like to talk to.
Just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
See?
Ahoy! Come on in!
From deep within the container, a voice from mega rich light bending guy. Look at that picture.
You can't be serious.
I absolutely can, man. The smile disappears from Kim's face. I absolutely can. Let's enter this freaking container and have some disco fun. I think I should have come at night, but do you have time actually? 9 o'clock we have a meeting with Kim there on the balcony, but now, wow, look at that.
The man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of capital. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for review.
Let's squint.
Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000 directions. It seems the laws of physics do not apply here. They are suspended, distorted, and echo. Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you an aneurysm. Don't think about it too hard. In the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering as you utter.
Wow.
Welcome. Come in. Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors today.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand every word he says. It is very strange. An overwhelming hum covers everything. Voice doesn't escape from him.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
He claps his hands together. What you can see of his body appears composed in a sharp summer suit and yard shoes. Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days.
There is genuine surprise in his voice.
Anyhow, my name is Rustam Theodore, investor, license holder, and extremely high net worth individual. And you are?
Mr. Theodore, I am Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
We can go with 3 options. My name is Harry, I'm a detective. My name is Harry and I'm an alcoholic. And my name is Harry and I am an alcoholic detective. Of course, we should be more informative.
Pleasure to meet you, Harry. Though I'm sorry to hear a good public servant like yourself is in servitude to the drink. A man can't serve 2 masters in my experience.
He says warmly. The drink is an instrument, not a master in my case. And my profession is my monster. That was bad. Okay, let's try again. The drink isn't my instrument. It's my... yeah, okay, yes. Too bad.
I can assure you, Mr. Theodore, that despite his vices, he is a competent...
Yeah, I am.
Oh, don't you worry, Lieutenant. I can tell a good man when I see one.
How did he become so rich?
To be perfectly blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad.
He chuckles.
All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
I understand that.
Actually, at the level this guy is, It takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
What's it like being an extremely high net worth individual?
I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. My assets are so diversified that I'm bound to come out ahead no matter what. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, "But doesn't that take all the fun out of it?" And I tell them, not really.
You're right, capital accumulation is its own reward. Don't you think that you should use your great wealth for the glory of your fatherland? You're a thief, people out there are working their asses off while you chill here. It's great that you've done so well for yourself, but don't you think you owe some of that wealth to the rest of society? And cool, I don't even have interesting replies. I think number 4 is what I believe personally.
Sure. And they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a racing yacht?
Well, maybe hundreds?
Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future it'll all be automated. But my point is this.
He says, jabbing his finger into the air a bit.
Every man gets what he earns. It's the height of tyranny to take that from him.
Yeah, I agree with that. Money doesn't... You don't pursue money, money ensues. Like, if you are competent, qualified, if you know your goal, if you know your target in life, it's kind of a matter of time that you will become, well, maybe not crazily rich, but you will have enough in the most reasonable scenarios, of course, or let's say in most reasonable scenarios. But sometimes there are, of course, exceptions to this rule. So, yeah, and it sounds great.
It is truly. It's almost entirely carefree. It really leaves you time to better yourself spiritually.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you need to ask him about.
There is something strange about you.
What do you mean?
His essence seems to signify actual surprise. Well, I don't know how to put it. You look somehow a little different.
Are you talking about my chin?
No, I mean, I can't even see you. It's if something is happening to the light.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course. It has something to do with our VIII coefficient.
The Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or 100%, it means one person possesses all the net worth. Among that group of individuals, it's been observed that when the Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient reaches about 0.96 or so, the laws of physics begin to bend around the high net worth individual.
What a metaphor here. So what is our coefficient?
The Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient for you and this individual appears to be 0.9998, repeating.
Whoa.
That's not good for you.
Are you telling me that you're so rich that light literally bends around your face?
Among other things. But calm down. I'm but a lowly single-digit billionaire.
Really?
No, not really. There are actually quite many digits.
Kim, are you seeing this weird stuff?
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well dressed for Martinez, in a cargo container, which I admit is odd.
So I'm having hallucinations.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you. My container.
What are you doing in this container?
Traveling. This is a great way to get around. It's fun, it's safe, and it gives me lots of time to think. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly?
We're in Martinez, a district of Hevashol, the former capital of the world.
Ah, Revachol. I remember walking its streets as a teenager. There used to be a bowling alley in Stella Maris. I wonder if it's still there. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money.
The second option is rubbish. Why don't you help them? You've got so much money it can't make a difference to you. That's not how social security works. So you travel from place to place via shipping container.
Smart, no? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advertising we extremely high net worth individuals are constantly subjected to. Luxury yachts, high fidelity portable radio systems, bail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois.
Fail-proof outwear. So you're saying being rich isn't worth the hassle?
What? No, I didn't say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
Bending light appears to wink. Can I have some money? No, I don't want to beg. That's not my thing. We should get back to our investigation. Thanks for your time.
Why go so soon? I feel we've so much more to talk about. Ah, well, until next time.
The only thing I could talk to you about was asking for money. Maybe let's try again. Ah, okay. Let's go back. Maybe Kim will have a commentary on that. But, well. Congrats. We've been to the most sparkling container I've seen in my life, and maybe you've seen in your life. Can't call it a quest, but it's complete. It's complete, and we can be coming back to where? To that that balcony where we have a meeting with our thin smoker from the balcony. How many times I've said this balcony thing? Twice? I should stop saying the words several times. It's lame. It's 8 o'clock and 32 minutes. If I go there now, will the quest trigger itself? That's the question. I think I need to talk to this man in the street. Oh no, no, wait. Mañana?
Hola, wandering man.
No, nothing. Nothing he wants to share with us. So this guy here, any news?
Right to what?
Nothing. Nothing to talk about. A bush near the corner room. Where would that be? Nah, there isn't anything here. Maybe Kuna has something to say. Kuna, have something to say?
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Oh yeah. This I have heard so much. There are so many memes about that nowadays. Oh, yes?
You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That Ruby of yours?
Yeah, and...
Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Clasia. It was nice and Ruby-centric in the end.
What do you mean?
Anything strike you a bit off about this mishmash?
Well, the bullet didn't have to come from the roof, it could have come from anywhere on the coast. The bullet was jacketed, though these don't just lie around everywhere, do they? The footprints in the pinball workshop didn't fit with the odd sole prints on the crime scene. So far no one has mentioned here in the shot. Actually, yeah, the 2 points here definitely. Jacketed as well. Let's go with number 3.
No, they didn't.
And so far no one has mentioned here in the shot.
Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you.
The bullet was jacketed. These don't just lie around everywhere, do they?
Good point. It is rather rare these days. But do continue.
Well, the bullet didn't have to come from the roof.
Absolutely. It could have come from anywhere. But you're suddenly so certain it came from the roof behind the window.
I'm done thinking about this.
That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now. You know that. Free as a bird on that roof. Lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me? Don't listen to this guy. The theory was solid. He's just jealous. Move on. It's no use harassing her further.
Classy. The game hints that I should arrest her. Should I? I think I'll be arresting her because I don't believe that. Volition kind of convinced me. The footprints didn't match. There was no shot that was audible, and too much line. Have to take care of her. But Titus will be... Okay, we'll save the game and then see what happens. If Titus gets grumpy, then maybe it's a reason to call it... to call the reparation off. But if he doesn't get resentful, then I think I'll proceed with the arrest, because Classy is just weaving a great web. So, Miss...
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Why do I feel like you won here?
I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
She smiles. A bitter little smile. She means it.
But this turned out well for you. You've slipped past all suspicions.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
She looks around.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for... I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility.
What are you contained for then?
For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on.
This all turned out well enough for you. You somehow managed to not become a suspect.
Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me then? What I managed was to get him killed. I'm the love that does people in, remember?
She arches an eyebrow and sighs.
The lieutenant looks away, over the railing. He feels uncomfortable with this conversation. He doesn't know what to add.
Something seems off with this theory I've developed about Ruby.
I don't know what to say.
It all seems fortuitous, for you.
None of this is fortuitous for me.
That's it then, I guess.
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Hey! Lies?
Lie.
Yes, we demand
Arrest?
a little whimper. The young woman hears you. She's looking around.
Hey! Hey! So, arrest?
There may be grounds here.
A little whimper. The young woman hears you. She's looking around.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait a second. Where is the option to arrest? Or there is no...
She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger.
So it's impossible to detain her now. We backed off and we can't arrest her. Ooh.
Yes, miss. I hope you don't mind. All right.
Coolly, gracefully, she...
Yeah?
Oh, what are you doing here in the Whirling Rags?
I'm wintering.
How long have you been staying here?
About 4 months. I came in November.
The bills downstairs concur.
Why here?
Here in the Whirling, here in Martinez, or here in Revachol?
Martinez?
I heard this is where the washed-up disco has-beens go.
You're too young to call yourself a disco has-been? Or know that it's sassy towns where the future of dance lies? Too young.
I'm really not.
Okay.
I'm winter.
How long?
About 4 months.
The bills downstairs.
Why
Here
here?
in the Whirling, here in Martinez.
In Berlin.
Because it's the funkiest building in Martinez. And because all the other buildings are bombed to hell.
Okay. And about
I'm
Revachol.
How long?
About 4.
The bills.
Why
Here in the
Revachol?
world, I always wanted to see the only city in the world in the worst time of the year. It's a tourist thing.
This is by far not the only reason she's here. And she isn't really hiding it either.
Okay. Drug collection, about what's behind the door.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
There's a peephole on the other side looking into your bedroom.
A peephole? You mean like a hole in the wall?
Yes.
Yes. Looking into your bedroom, miss.
The tenant points to her window. The unmade bed is visible through the glass.
Okay.
There is a pause as she processes this information.
A jitter of fear and disgust moves through her body, beginning from her shoulders and ending in her hips. The cigarette tastes foul to her now.
Do you think this is somehow related to Ruby passing through there?
It could just be a coincidence. And we don't know at this point.
Okay. Do you have any way of knowing how long it has been there?
Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess, long enough. The perforation is under the bookshelf on your wall. It should not be hard to cover with some tape.
If it was recent, who do you think made it? Ruby?
It's very hard to believe that she'd do something like that, but... No, I don't know. I just don't know about this, officer.
She squints.
She could have. Maybe she did. Or maybe it's been there for a long time. The local kids use it or something. Was there anything else back there?
That's all for now.
Mm-hmm.
She's lost in thought. Eyes narrowed. Forehead furrowed.
Other questions?
All right.
I want to know more about myself now.
Sure.
Passport. How old are you? Do miss? No.
The record. So official.
Tell me what really happened one more time. I want to come back to this question where she could tell me what happened on Sunday when I was partying. Oranese lit. The night he died happened. Gunshot. Lily killed him. Cops. No, it's all
She
for now.
nods silently, then picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
About your room again. About the deceased,
Yes,
maybe.
miss. I hope you don't.
No,
All right.
that's...
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more.
So I can't ask her about Sunday, it appears. Strange. But I have to concede, I have nothing against her again. We just have to back off and go to this balcony and talk to that smoking, slender guy, and that's what the only option we have left. But, well, on the other hand, it's good news because now I'm not a hostage of this insecurity. Like, I know that I only have one option to follow, and that's to, well, to proceed with the investigation, and we can't arrest her. Maybe Titus knows something about that peephole. Maybe he knows who made this hole and the window?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling-height window.
Oh.
The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
Note in the workshop, mysterious door scene. You've been here for a long time. Really, you've been here for ages.
There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow, faded with time.
Oh yeah!
A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket. Hanging from it, a bronze
Oh,
key.
that's the bush. The branch, not the bush.
Someone hid the key in the bush and attached a yellow ribbon to make it easier to find.
Oh.
It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence.
Someone's hid the key in the bush. Point at the window.
Huh?
I need you guys to hand the key to me. Oh no, Titus, can you hand the key to me, please?
I'm not your janitor, cop. I don't even know what you're talking about. There's nothing there.
If he says it's there, it's there.
Lieutenant takes his glasses off to clean them, then puts them back on. Can you let me slide by so I can grab the thing?
I don't know about that. I'm comfortable here. Don't think any sliding would really help right now.
The tattooed man yawns and settles more comfortably on the bench.
Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. The hawthorn's got a bitch of a bite.
I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch, and slides it across the table to you.
Take the key.
The key is brass. Workshop spare is etched to its bow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in?
I'm tired of listening to your shit.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. I don't give two shits about your key.
The old man takes out his pack of chewing tobacco. Does anyone know why this key was hanging right outside the Union box window?
Didn't even know it was there. Boys.
The man looks at the key in your hand and around the room.
No idea.
Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place.
I wonder what doors does it open?
It's for the blue door in the kitchen. There was a note there that you missed.
I didn't miss
said
it.
The workshop key is behind the window.
I didn't miss it.
It's this key.
I didn't miss it. I told you it was somewhere, but I just didn't know where. I thought it was on the second floor near the corner room. Well, this is also a corner room, but it's the first floor, and I thought it was a bush. A bush, not a branch. I didn't miss it. It's the game who flashed it and then the message disappeared. Kim, that was a false alarm. Maybe this is how Ruby got to the roof that night using this key.
Wild theory, cop man. The worst thing is, I like it. She's been in this box plenty of times. This would give her access to the workshop route.
Boss, I don't want to make excuses for her, but...
He stops.
Go ahead, Glenn.
Why did she put it back after she took it?
Look at Glenny and his girlfriend.
Ah.
It's a solid point, Chinks. There's a lot of things off about pinning this on Ruby. Be careful when you find her, cop. Be fair. Give her a chance to defend herself.
It's said without aggression, in good trust.
Okay. I got it, man. So, Titus, do we have things to exchange?
The Copper-nado is back.
He smirks.
What do you want?
I want to go over a few things.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing to talk about. 9 o'clock, we have to be running to the balcony to talk to the thin man with the cigarette. And so far, I'm very satisfied because I finally located this freaking key that I was looking for. And I just now kind of regret that we invested 1 point into perception. I didn't have to, but on the other hand, we are detectives and we are on a case, and perception never harms anything. Wait, maybe these circles appear when there is a potential interaction, but we just don't know what it could be. Well, one possibility. I'm not saying it's completely this way, but who knows? Has Joyce come back, by the way? I wish she was here. Is Joyce here? Is it? Is she? No, she's still out. She's still missing. What the hell, Joyce? You are betraying my trust just when I have so much information to share with you and so much information to get from you. You just disappeared to the village. Hey, Nick. Hello, man. We are still on our case here. You look like Witness meme, but it's cool still. No, I don't look like that. I'm wearing a suit, and that guy was only wearing... What was he wearing? I think he was wearing a black jacket and a white short and white trousers, if I'm not mistaken. So I hope I don't look like him, because he looks terrible. But I mean, it's a meme, and if I look like a meme, it's... well, it dignifies me. Thank you. How is it? How is your Friday? How's your Saturday? I should say, because it's Saturday in our time zone. Here's the man we should be talking to, and here's some window. The curtains shift just a little. Someone is watching from within. Someone is watching from within. Hey, don't watch. This is closed. Of course, I've thought about quitting, but what he is thinking about quitting smoking, I guess. So, hello, sir.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
I want to now internalize some thought, because I don't think I need visual calculus anymore. At least not so much. Cop of the Apocalypse. Learning cap and shivers. Learning cap for Inland Empire and shivers. Quite useless. I can drop it, but let's inspect what I can drop apart from that. Extra special collector's edition tear bottles on the map. All endurance white checks unlocked. Learning cap or endurance heal. Physics, motorics, red checks, failures heal. 1 health. Pain threshold. Plus 10 cents. No, that is absolutely necessary. Ace is high. Apocalypse, Gemrock, Shuffle. Mama Dakwa. Yeah, I think I should drop volumetric sheet compressor. Yes, forget it. And Mazovian socioeconomics I shall process now. It's nothing, as always, have just watched Microbit and now is thinking to get something to eat. So, bon appetit. What's for dinner?
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
We got your hint. Found the key right under the stone.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes. Or honestly, I'm just trying not to screw anything up. I'm not going to make things just right. I'm going to make them spectacular and ignore his question. I was hoping to talk to a possible witness. Your balcony overlooks the murder scene. I'm going to make them spectacular.
Beautiful.
He says again. Nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door 28. By the way, I'm really digging the view here.
That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
He looks away, his cigarette and glowing in the dark.
Wait. Suddenly you're digging things?
Lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. What's wrong with digging things? It's Friday tonight. It feels like... Wait a second. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather.
What? Why would I want to meet your friend? And who knows what is waiting for you inside your fridge if you dare peek inside? Well, I know what is waiting for me in my fridge. It's rice, eggs, different bottles, and some cream for my coffee, and cheese, parmesan, and some leftovers from marble cheese. Wasn't tasty, it was terrible actually. And there is I think, well, some ketchup, mayonnaise of course, and lemon in a container, butter. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And bread. Yeah, bread. There is bread. So that's my fridge's content. Not to mention the freezer. In the freezer you can find some dumplings with cottage cheese. Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Okay, very well. I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have some questions. So many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
Okay.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
And where?
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
He gestures idly towards distant motorways. Only if we promise that we will talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
The smoker assures you, brushing his hand through the hair.
Take care, all right?
He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving him?
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery.
He says, turning his face away from you. There is something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
He's short. Why is his shirt always unbuttoned?
His shirt.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. He's short.
His shirt.
He's short.
He's trying to dive deep into the mysteries of his shirt.
His shirt? No, I don't know why his shirt is always unbuttoned.
His mouth tightens as though trying to hold something back.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
He nods at the apartment door before you. Ah, that was a good conversation to have, but fine. How many skill points I have? 2. And already 20 above, thanks to conceptualization and a finished quest. And we are going to finish 2 thoughts in 3 hours. That's cool. Entering the room, I have a suspicion somebody's going to attack us there. I have this unpleasant hunch, but maybe it's not that bad. Always nice if it's not just the frustrating bricks of ice that get you into deep madness of feeling emptiness. You mean if there is nothing else apart from ice in your fridge? Well, that's the time to go to the shop, which is wonderful because now you can buy everything you need and more that. And I like shopping. Grocery shopping is cool. So governmental issues. What governmental issues? Okay, so let's inspect first. Someone is always watching. A quarterly business magazine. An empty ashtray. Dishes soaked up in a pot. And give me a second. Am I getting money for inspecting these? From inspecting these green orbs. 10 cents plus every 10 cents for every green orb clicked. Now I have 3 real and 15 cents. Then I click this green orb. I do get them. Flyers for underground parties. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. An old photo of the same apartment, dated year 01. Expensive man's perfume lingers in the air. Party dragon silk robe. Drama and electrochemistry. Now, look at what I should be wearing next time. Just I don't have this in my wardrobe, guys. Don't even think of that. Don't you even think of that. But if we remove this, and this, and this, and this, that's quite a show. Kim, what do you think of that? Huh? Kim?
Yes?
I think I need to do that for some time, to just walk without any clothes for some while, but not now. I have some stuff to do. Let's get back our clothes. Interfacing, half-light. I think half-light should be. Composure. Empathy, hand-eye coordination, maybe later. I have put on everything I wanted. Yeah. So what does this one have? Dates for open lectures at a local university, and underneath bed, Samaran conical hat. +1 logic, -1 suggestion. That's impressive. I think... I don't remember. Oh no, we had this in our office, I think, but I don't have this in my flat. Unfortunately, guys, so sorry, I can't put on something like that. Yeah, without without Samaran conical hat. The stony cone-shaped hat looks like a beacon of Samaran wisdom, its straws sticking up like antennas. Thank God you can't really see people's reactions when they see you strolling around in this incredibly insensitive headpiece. Logic. Logic bonus. Now it's 7. I also think maybe I should improve my encyclopedia. And what's happened? Oh yeah, visual calculus was decreased by our thought. Yeah. Okay, let's have a conversation now. I think we've inspected everything. Hey man.
You have acquired the hat. Keep it, officer. It looks good on you.
The man assesses the situation.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Or show him the silk robe. Before we get to that, tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from. Or we'll get to that right after you tell me the story behind the black Samaran hat. Okay, that's time for stories. First of all, the bad.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
Wait a second. About robe and hat. You actually witnessed the lynching.
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod.
He didn't see the hanging. He saw the little show staged by the Hardys. Let him talk. He may know more than even he knows.
Start from the beginning, if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
Lieutenant is already scribbling down notes.
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
That lines up with previous testimony, doesn't it? Well done, detective.
Thank you, sir. I think we've got the picture. Anything else stand out?
Only that there were about 8 or 10. I couldn't make out anything. It was so dark. And it was quiet. Quietest lynching I've ever heard of, let alone heard. But I suspect you knew that already. I can't say I'm surprised. The fine reputation of the men and women serving in the RCM is well-deserved.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
He raises his index finger.
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it.
Uh-huh.
It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here.
12-story. Map. 12? There are 2 maximum. 2. Not 12. What are you talking about? What are you blabbering about? What? Boulder Dash.
You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur la Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
He glances at his ward.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the moral intern is joking or not.
What is this international community?
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution. Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
And what is this, the pre-stabilité?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, sure, give me a leaflet.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist.
Oh, me too.
But I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad.
What?
You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
Where is your leaflet if you have this commitment to transparency? I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
So, Kim, you're actually working for the moral intern. That doesn't seem so bad.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
Are you a moralist?
But of course.
He said that already. Am I a moralist?
Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Kim, are you a moralist?
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol.
A very moralist answer.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
What is a normal, stable world?
The Occident is part of the normal world. Oranje, sur la clé.
Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
He gives you an improving nod. Okay, there are options. Don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. I want more action. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Revachol must be governed by Revacholians. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of capital. And it's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? Yeah, I think option number 4 calls to me.
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer?
Yes, everything else is super extreme. It's like I'm living with a bunch of lunatics.
Sounds like you're a moralist indeed, my friend. Welcome.
Thanks.
Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur-la-Clef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clef is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
What makes Revachol Sur-la-Clef's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clef. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clef's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
What's wrong with mashed potatoes? Tell me about Oranje.
Oranje is an exemplary nation who, as a core member of EPIS, contributes 28% of our annual budget. Next to Sur-la-Clef, Oranje is probably the most prominent member of the international community.
And which of them is more EPIS?
As founding members, they are both very EPIS. Oranje carries a lot of political weight, while Sur-la-Clef takes care of the business side of things. Sur-la-Clef hosts the headquarters of the major EPIS institution.
Okay, but outside of EPIS, what is Oranje?
Oranje's economy is one of the most advanced in the world. It has successfully transitioned from heavy industry to advanced services and generally acts as an engine for sustainable change in the international community.
But that didn't tell you anything about Oranje.
Well, it did. Why not? It did. Some abstract facts, but I mean, before that moment, we have been having so many abstract facts that told us little about anything, but still we got something out of that puzzle. So can't you just talk like a normal person? He does. It's like oh, that's painful, because that's what I usually hear when I talk. I mean, not what I hear anymore, but I used to hear, like, can you talk like a normal person? Can you stop overcomplicating things? Can you use less sophisticated vocabulary? Can you express your message in a lighter way, and so on and so forth? So to me, he speaks completely properly, but maybe that's because I'm a graduate of Law University, and so okay, I don't want to click that, but I have
About
to.
what?
I'm not seeing
It's
that.
very urban and very well organized. Their streets are clean, their horse cars run on time, the people are polite and efficient. Like I said, they are an example for less emerged nations to follow.
If he knows so much about Oranje, maybe he also knows about Oranje's mercenaries.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
What if I told you there is a fugitive from the... Oh. Oh. Can you tell me about your friend first?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
Do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPS thing you keep talking about? I know about that, but let's still go with completionist style.
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations.
Oh, we haven't-
It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
So is it, maybe I'm too slow, but I think it starts to remind me of the European Union and their contracts that were actually the foundation of the EU. I don't remember now what kind of treaties, but the EU was based on them. What does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the moral intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
Well, now it's actually frustrating. You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Hevashel going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS.
Yes, it's the EU.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
Well, makes sense. Big shifts of population. You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry. Who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony, we were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
Well, that's a valid point. So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
The man smiles, nodding to the window. What view? It's dark outside.
Listen,
He says, raising his hand.
A baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying?
no, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm just enjoying. We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
Thanks, that's all I need.
A moment, officer.
Yes?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
I'm not going anywhere, I just want to take a look around in his apartment.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions.
He glances at his watch. Yeah, I just wanted to save my game now, because there were some very uncomfortable questions
Was there anything else?
I wanted to ask, what if I told you there is a fugitive from the Malone intern in Martinez?
A fugitive?
Hypothetically speaking, you might add.
Hypothetically speaking.
Well, I would say that is very bad indeed. Not super. What sort of a fugitive are we talking about here?
I'm... corporate espionage type stuff?
That is extremely serious. Corporate espionage may technically be legal in Revachol, but elsewhere it's a very high-level offense. It violates a number of international agreements, in particular the First La Charte Accord. This fugitive must be turned over to the ICP immediately. Have you apprehended them already?
A moment, if you don't mind, sir.
The lieutenant pulls you aside.
You do realize what you're doing, don't you?
He whispers to you, sort of voice.
You're dooming a young woman in her hour of desperation.
Oh shit, Classy could really get in real trouble if I tell him about her, huh?
Very real trouble. I won't tell you how to do your job, but remember, this is an RCM matter. Make sure you weigh your next words carefully.
He won't tell you how to do your job, but a good police officer knows when to listen to his partner. When you turn back, the man is looking at you, expectantly.
Looking on someone else? Wow. Let's try.
Now's your chance, sire. Which of your enemies would you most like to make trouble for?
Okay. That's interesting. A racist lorry driver. Everhard Clare. Okay, let's go with Everhard Clare.
Everhard Clare? Surely you're mistaken.
What do you mean? Have you met Everhard?
I have. The only thing Everhard is a fugitive from is the exercise machine. Besides, in certain less advanced nations, the moral intern may defer to local custom.
Customs? Like blatant systematic corruption?
I'll make note of your claims in my report, but I'm sorry to say it's likely to end up in the back of the filing cabinet somewhere in Mirova, unread and forgotten.
That's a shame.
Yes, it rather is. As much as I am a true believer in international institutions, there are times when even I grow frustrated with the bureaucracy. Well, no matter. I should thank you for bringing this to our attention. Your efforts have been noted. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss?
The man who was lynched outside your window was from around here.
Oh, that's unusual. The Oraniers are not the kind of people you associate with heinous crimes. It's such an upstanding and responsible country.
That's not how I would describe this guy.
Well, certainly one cannot rely simply on generalizations. That would go against our commitment to individual freedoms. And, of course, any loss of life is a tragedy. So tell me, what have you learned about the victim?
The man seems to observe a moment of silence. He. First off, I have to load the game because I don't want to start this line about betraying Classy. Even though I don't believe her, I don't want even to tick this option. I'll just go with this. Oraniers mercenary.
Was there anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yes,
Well, certain,
yes.
and, of course...
Lely.
Ah, what a shame. A man cut down in his prime earning years.
Lely wasn't his real name, it was a nom de guerre.
Ah, he was a soldier.
A mercenary.
Aha! A condottiere.
Condottiere.
Yes, it's hard to believe they still exist.
He says as though describing a character from a fantasy novel like The Witcher. There were a lot of condottieres. He was a motherfucker and a killer.
Officer, you shouldn't speak ill of the dead.
Why not? It's okay, he told me so.
So you spoke with the victim before he died?
No, this was after he died.
The man gives the lieutenant a nervous look. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows as though he'd stopped paying attention. Your partner's doing you a favor by pretending not to have heard your insane ramblings.
He liked to get high and brag about war crimes he'd committed.
Extremely distasteful behavior. I cannot condone either drug use or needless boasting. Suffice it to say, that is not how we do things in Sur-la-Clé.
Oh, really? He was a poor kid before the Oranese government put him in a military academy.
It's the responsibility of any good welfare state to take care of its most unfortunate citizens.
They turned him into a psychopathic killing machine.
They gave him a successful career.
The man holds up a finger as though he's made a brilliant point. I'm stopping to like this guy. Story. I'm stopping liking this guy.
What else has your investigation uncovered?
After he was discharged from the military, he joined a mercenary outfit named Canal.
That is extremely unfortunate. Yes, it's regrettable that this practice has a history in certain Occidental nations, even highly advanced members of EPIS. But rest assured, the Oranese government has committed to producing a timetable that would lay out a path to transition to a professional army. Soon, there'll be no need for mercenaries like this poor man.
What's the difference between a professional army and... Forget that. What kind of a timetable are we talking about here?
Oh, it's hard to put an exact date on it. I believe the proposal for the timetable is due to be completed around 60 or 61.
That's like a decade from now.
See? That's the kind of progress that the moral intern makes possible.
As a merc, he killed a lot of people on the Semenine Islands for the sake of the Oranese pharmaceutical industry.
A great shame, yes. Colonialism is a dark specter in Oranye's past.
He shakes his head solemnly. It's still going on. Who's talking about the past?
Which is why the work of the moral intern is so critical. It is our great bulwark against another century of bloodshed.
That's all. That's who he was.
As I said, the loss of any life is terrible, no matter who the person may have been. I do hope you're able to bring his killer or killers to justice. We must show that the rule of law still applies, even in Rivachol.
Thanks, I've got all I need.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
Don't want to talk about classy with him because I don't trust him at all. He is a bureaucratic beast, and I'm not sure in his sanity as a person. So let's do what? Now Kim probably will approach us with this time issue that it's late. What I want to do now is remove all my clothes and put on only this. No, actually, I'll be walking like that. It's very stylish. Yes. I wonder what will happen if I talk to people in this outfit. I know it's gross. I know. But it's still fun. They should feel fun too. Let's see. And it's 10 o'clock and we can't get into our room anymore. So we'll have to find money somewhere. Hey old lady, how is it?
Give me a moment.
No. No moments for you. Let's go to the pawn shop and talk to Roy, his name was. And maybe he can tell us something interesting that we haven't heard before. And I also assume Joyce hasn't come back. Yeah, she's still missing. Ah, what an image. Our naked cop striding the night with his mighty steps. Drivers have disappeared. Vendors have too. So we have to go to this lock first.
A rusting control panel.
Yeah.
This panel usually
Pull the
closes
lever
door.
again.
You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Push it harder.
Nothing happens. A cold gust of wind blowing in from the sea interrupts the silence of the situation.
Lieutenant hums to himself by staring at your activities.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
There was, but I still had to try. Yet again. Alright, let's go to this shop. What will happen with my stay in Whirling in Rags? Where will I have my night? Ooh, something hidden. What's that?
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hjelmdal burning.
Let's sniff the t-shirt.
Smells like worn cotton, and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
That's a rad man from Hemdall t-shirt you've got there.
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed tees, but this one was just pure exemplar.
We have a lot in common. I'm a big fan of the man from Hemdall too.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan, but I do think the Hjelmdalaman saga is an integral part of our shared reality. Most people don't think that the man from Hjelmdal really existed, but they're wrong.
What did you mean the man from Hemdall was real?
I mean, even if the man from Hjelmdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Okay.
He sounds incredulous.
You sound skeptical. It's not that complicated. All that's required is a more robust understanding of cause and effect. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hjelmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Interesting. Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say.
How much are you selling this t-shirt for?
2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
Couldn't you just give it to me for free then?
But why?
Because I'm broke cop without a cent to my name?
I sympathize, I do. But this is a for-profit enterprise.
Wait a second, maybe let's
2
try.
That's dirt cheap.
But why?
Perhaps I could repay you in some other way?
I deal in goods, not services.
Let's try again.
2
That's dirt cheap.
But why? You'll just have to buy it then. But it's not like it's expensive.
Let's buy it.
Welcome to Hjelmdal, officer.
I spent another 2 real not paying for my room, but look at this super cool t-shirt. It's so red, it's so vibrant, it's so flamboyant. I don't know, it's just an amazing purchase, totally worth the loss of money.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Maybe he can aid our investigation?
I doubt it, but
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Something to sell. Ba-dum-pum-pum. Okay, something else to
sure.
sell.
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Half a real. No, that's not going to get me a
Another
room.
time, perhaps.
Not going to get me a room, unfortunately. Then what could I do? Probably Kim will have some solution to that puzzle of mine. I don't want to sleep on a bench, but probably I'll have to. Let's come back to the tavern. Hotel they call it here, right? Not tavern, because tavern is not the best word for that, maybe. So, oh, the boys are still here. What if I talk to them in that outfit? But let's not first. Let's first go to this blue door. Blue door.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
Try the workshop spare key on the door.
The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn it after all these years, but then the lock clicks.
Okay. And this pinball says Franco-Nigerian. The theme is horses and swords. Okay. So I've opened the... What's that?
All these mesmerizing machines, just waiting to be plugged back in and played.
Run your finger across the dust of the white Deora machine.
Feels like it might jump back to life any moment. The lights illuminating the white-robed woman.
What's white Deora?
Some kind of inane pinball theme, probably related to Messina during the DeLorean age. The history themes are the worst.
Deora was one of the 3 crown cities of the DeLorean era, on the Muindi Isola, the others being Ria Silvia and Advesperaskit. This theme is all about early airships and beautiful, sad, pearl-laden women. It's quite nice, actually. The lieutenant grimaces looking at the machines.
How about we fire one of these bad boys up and play some ball?
You can't fire them up. They are broken. Only that one machine in the main hall works. The Royalist pinball.
He looks away. Sounds like you don't enjoy pinball, Kim.
No, I love it. I love pinball. Who doesn't love pinball? Let's move on.
He doesn't.
What about the other one? The Franco-Nigerian ball? Wanna play that?
No.
Encyclopedia. Think. Kim Kitsuragi, Kim Kitsuragi.
Kim Pinball Kitsuragi.
Also known as Kimball.
Exactly. That's what he's known as. His reputation precedes him.
You're Kim Pinball Kitsuragi.
So now he remembers.
He looks at you in the silence of the workshop, then takes his glasses off and cleans them.
Fine, I'm Kim Pinball Kitsuragi, aka the Kimball. You remembered. Congratulations.
He puts them back on. Wait, but I still can't remember anything else.
Wonderful. He only remembers hearing about the pinball policeman.
You don't seem to really like pinball.
No human being should. It is a game that requires no skill and a childlike affinity to flashing lights and to fantastic, science fiction, and historic romance franchise. It is lame.
Then why are you so called pinball?
I am not called pinball. It was used to taunt me a long time ago, before I became a homicide detective and got my lieutenancy.
How did you...
Fine. I was a juvenile police officer for over 15 years. It's how I started out in the RCM. Once I had to infiltrate a pinball ring, as you do when you're a juvie cop.
Okay.
It was not okay. I needed to become a pinball champion. I trained for 9 months. The job was successful and I was moved out of the juvenile wing to homicide. End of story.
You were a juvenile cop for 15 years.
That time is over now. I was already a 38-year-old man. It was unbecoming, as was playing pinball.
He looks at the pinball machine and breathes in.
So that's why he doesn't want to talk to Kuno. Trauma and stressor disorder from being a juvie cop.
So that's why you didn't talk to Kuna?
It's best if you handle the juvenile delinquents.
You are Lieutenant Kitsuragi to me.
Not only to you, I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi to everyone. Now we really need to continue our sweep of what appears to be a secret path through the whirling.
So let's proceed with the secret path, but I don't think it will uncover anything else. Still, let's try. Let's try. Maybe there is something we have missed. Nope, doesn't look that way. And I don't think Classy has something to tell us, but who knows? We could try. We could try. He is such a show on the roof with his yellow bag and naked.
I was just thinking.
Nothing to tell us. Alright. Then we have to go back to Hardy Boys, talk to Gacht, and read the books. I believe that's the plan for now. What else haven't we done? What should we do with the bullet? Why do you look like that? I want to know if somebody is going to be triggered by my appearance. Like maybe Kim will comment on how I look, or maybe some other people, and because it's hell of a fun to be, like, you know, a detective who was drinking for 2 days straight to sweet oblivion and then woke up and suddenly he's rocking the stage with his revelations and cracks criminals on the go, and that's quite a show we are giving here. Yeah, totally worth it. Was there a thought? No, there wasn't. So, Hardy Boys, how is it? What do you think of my appearance now?
The Coppernado is back.
Yeah, I am.
What do you want?
Nothing new. No new lines. Then I think we should do what? We should try Gard. Maybe he has something to tell us.
Can I help you?
About my bill for tonight.
Got the 20 real?
I don't. Do I really have to pay you again?
The breath catches in his chest. The light in his eyes snuffs out all at once. After a moment, he speaks.
Do you have money tonight?
No.
Too bad.
He mutters, he shakes his head, and stops as a strange new cruel light rekindles in his features.
Here comes a layup, sire. Fall not for it.
But you know what? You're in luck, because you don't have to ever pay me again.
Are you serious?
Perfectly serious. You don't have to pay me anything.
The corners of his lips turn into the slightest smile, like that king who was naked but nobody could admit it in public but the child. Yes, exactly. I'm the naked king.
You don't have to give me any money at all. If you want a room, yes, you'll need to pay me, but you don't have to just give me money. Giving me money for a room is your choice.
Wait, I still don't understand. Do I get a free room or not?
No, you can choose to give me 20 real for a room, or you can choose not to. I don't care what you decide.
This isn't the choice. I have nowhere else to go.
You want a free place to sleep? Fine. You've already unlocked your new room. The trash container outside is ready and waiting.
Oh, can I use it?
The lieutenant is painfully silent. This was your responsibility. I cannot help you now. I am sorry. A new dimension of reality will open. A portal is this bed of waste. Sleep there and awaken elsewhere.
What does it mean?
It is not clear. All that is known is sleep in the trash and there is no coming back.
I embrace my fate guard. This is the night of the Hobocop.
Right, well, there you are. Now, was there anything else you wanted?
No, I'll sleep in the trash container. That's, well, I couldn't think of a better outcome. That's just amazing. So we just need to read the 2 books. Yeah, the 2 books, and that's it. At that point, we'll be finishing the day. Also, I want to. Yeah. So first, let's read the books.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Okay, what more?
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, what problems do these birds have?
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely.
Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
Right, that's pretty bad. Anything else?
It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Yes, but there has to be something great about cockatoos as well.
You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. Ouch. That must hurt.
Scream for fun.
Not great for the neighbors. Performing, yes, birdie.
So let's read about the funeral cockatoo.
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it. Ooh.
Let's read about the major majestic cockatoo.
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white.
And finally, let's read about the most common bang bang cockatoo.
Despite its banging name, the bang bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoese name bang bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins.
Honestly, this bird does sound a bit like me.
Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
So let's recap. The yellow-tailed black cockatoo is because of its look. Then majestic cockatoo, most flamboyant bird. And then this bandbag cockatoo is just gray and white and the shyest of the species. I think I'm a fuck-up-a-two, a fuck-up and a cockatoo.
You're right. You're a fuckatoo embodied. This sorry-ass bird belongs on your heraldry. It probably doesn't even have feathers and only screams.
Yeah, let's take a screenshot and be proud of that. Where's my Steam achievement, I wonder? Next book. 16 Days of Coldest April.
In your hands you hold 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Were you deprived of your previous apartment for walking naked? No, it's because I don't have 20 real to pay for that. I spent all my money on buying books, clothes, and I haven't found any bottles to sell, unfortunately. So I'm truly a hobbycop. So the cover image shows a roll concrete. Okay.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. It would do that in Grad.
How long is this book, anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long. Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading.
Let's look at the back cover.
The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
What does she look like?
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Start reading.
In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugograd riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows.
A new thought. A new thought, date of birth, generator. Your face looks like it's 58 and your body feels like it's 60. Your mind feels like it's lived for 1 day or 100. Both longer than they ought to be, the day and the century. But how long then has the thing attached? Oh, it's my thought that has finished. I have read this. So when and where were you born, Elder One? Time to start wrecking those brains of yours. I thought I got a new thought.
The Yugograd riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugograd Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature. As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
And what happened next?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Yes. Read 10 more pages. Damaged health.
They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
When you moved to Moscow and paid all your money to rent a flat because you had been convinced of getting a job and eventually ended up in a trash tank, that's something I would definitely go for. Potentially speaking, I think that sounds like an adventure. So, yeah. And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one.
And then that's when Lovecraftian horrors come. She becomes the Innsmouth breed, and that's how the story commences with all these Cthulhu's folk.
The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
This is terrible.
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
That's literature. Let's put the book away. Now we have no more healing charges, and that's dangerous. We either have to increase our endurance or find healing things.
Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years old. The bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it, you still have some years. You still have some hope.
Learning cap for logic raised to 4, -1 difficulty to all physique passives. Well, that's something decent. Hopefully I won't take any damage in the nearest future. And it's 12 o'clock. So, what could we do?
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Oh, why am I looking at this?
Cop habit. You look at everything.
So I haven't looked at this fence.
This isn't case related, you think.
What kind of vehicle drove through here?
Hard to say.
Visual calculus, 42%. I'll do it. Even
You
with
see
abusing.
a set of tire tracks in the brown... No.
I will. I said I will do it. Just that maybe we'll have a couple of loads. Visual calculus, I think, is suffering now because of this thought that I'm processing. How much is left, by the way? Come on. 99%, you see. As soon as I finish this check,
You
I'll...
see a set of tire tracks in the... No.
No, I said yes. Yes, absolutely. I'll pass this check. Just maybe with a couple of tries.
You see a set of tire tracks in the... No.
Come on, 42%. We had this 17% check on the second try. So that's strange, weird, odd, bizarre, despicable.
You see a set of tire tracks. The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber.
Okay.
Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager. Why that pang of guilt again? The hole in this fence doesn't look that huge.
The hole is not that... no. It's not that impressive.
He was exaggerating. People blame cops for everything that goes wrong in the world. This has nothing to do with you.
Okay, what happened next?
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building, before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
A car drove through the fence.
You are correct. This is a rather motor carriage-friendly city.
Somehow that makes you feel scared. You don't know why.
Is this connected to the case?
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went.
Well, we've been there.
If you find the time.
There is the point of departure of the vehicle that crashed and the Cimarron butt assigned.
That's plausible. A similar reckless abandon seems to be in evidence.
I think I got it. And a finished thought.
Mazovian socio-economics.
Okay.
0.000% of communism has been built. Evil, child-murdering billionaires still rule the world with a shit-eating grin. All he has managed to do is make himself sad. He is starting to suspect Krasmezov fucked him over, personally, with his socio-economic theory. It has, however, made him into a very smart boy with something like a university degree in truth. Instead of building communism, he now builds a precise model of this grotesque, duplicitous world.
What a waste of my potential. Forget the thought. What a waste. Absolute garbage. -1 authority, -1 visual calculus. Bonus from thoughts -1. Who is that? Mazovian. Just a second. Then what did I forget? Hey. Taxation, the suicide of Krasmazov. I missed the button. Hell. I don't think I forgot the proper thought. That's too bad. And now I'll be where? Again, trying to pass the check.
You see a set of tire tracks in the Browns. The tire tracks were left here by an
I appreciate that.
Some of that rubber stuck to the top and then accelerated straight.
Yes.
The hole in he was the driver proceeded to back before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
You could follow.
And finally.
That's plausible.
Okay. Now.
Mazovian socio-economics.
Yes. Completed. Now accept. And oh, I forgot a thought which gave me 1 rhetoric. That's horrible. Mazovian socioeconomics. Forget this rubbish. Now what? Can I get inside this building now?
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Okay. There's nothing new here. Can I sleep on the bench this night?
The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting.
We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go.
Alright. So, Kim, I'm afraid I'll have to stay in the street this night. Classy has disappeared from the balcony. Now, where is she? Maybe she's... What gives you those thoughts? The thoughts are given... So you receive them as you play the game, as you make some choices, as you explore some territories, as you have some certain options in your dialogues. So thoughts reflect your actions in the game. And that means that I think that you can't get all the thoughts possible from the bank of the game. you can get the ones that respond to your playstyle, and technically speaking, they're not very beneficial in terms of experience, but they give you some bonuses. Like I have -1 encyclopedia, but I have +3 perception from that, hand-eye coordination -1, esprit de corps +1, rhetoric +1. All the rest give me some kind of experience bonuses, and it's actually strange that they don't give the full list here, because you have to click on them in this way to understand better. So, like this one, the Jamrock Shuffle, find better loot in locked containers. If only I had more containers to explore. Now, where is Classy, really? Classy, where are you? Is she sleeping now? Oh, it's a milestone of your own walkthrough. Yes, it is. It is kind of a sign of your actions. No, seriously, where is Classy? She isn't in her room, she isn't downstairs, and she isn't on the balcony. I wonder what happened. Kim, where is Classy? What do you think?
Yeah.
So let's go downstairs using the short path. And I'll probably go now to the trash container and try to sleep. I don't think Joyce has come back on her boat. Probably she's still staying in the village. Open the door, please. Very convenient now. So, let's go to the street. I think we have to give a full sweep of the streets just to be sure that we haven't missed anything. I'll equip my torchlight, flashlight, and have a run around. Just paying attention to the details. Oh, and I wanted to call my department, my police department, because maybe they'll give me some money, because I have achieved something. I'm actually not a loser completely. Are there any more?
This found the smell of cigarettes and perfume. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Perception, you see, worked out. Peel off the cover of the passenger seat.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Ask Barton to lend you a belt to put on and look like a person who needs money. If I use a belt, I'll look like a person from some videos. And I don't want to do that, man.
Bonne prise.
Lieutenant commands you as you shift through the treasure, well worn and folded into neat squares. Fold open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock. and this person knows them all.
Haven't played Space Rangers, yes. I haven't, man. So I guess I missed some joke or reference.
There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the mess of brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does the road lead?
To Kuron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Let's fold open the second map.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol. The great solution to the riddle of history.
And the third map?
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
The smugglers have infiltrated the motor tract.
So it would seem.
Lieutenant examines the maps with a furrowed brow.
The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
So where does the contraband end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti? That sounds vaguely familiar.
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes. But really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Aura Masta. It's a dark parody.
Heads with contempt. Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect. Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before for those involved.
Lieutenant removes his glasses and polishes them with a handkerchief.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it.
Text quests, these are magnificent. They are magnificent, especially when you are imprisoned. What to do at your leisure? Make a tattoo on your bed with the word Pisaric for free. Space Rangers is a game that is how old? When was it released? So I guess you played it in Russian. I still don't even know any memes about that. Let's return the stack of papers under the seat.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick these up later.
He nods.
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a rubber handle, worn from years of use. You close the rusty old lorry door.
Well, something to add to our investigation, and you know what, guys? I think I'll be finishing right now because I haven't yet called the police department, but it's midnight in game, and it's 2 o'clock at night in my life, and so I don't want to be completely wasted tomorrow morning for my lesson. So I'll call it a stream now, and let's save the game. And next time we meet, I'll just profoundly finish this day and start a new one, and we'll get to the secrets that Wednesday in Disco Elysium has for us. And thank you very much for watching. That was, well, longer again than expected, and still very enjoyable. All the regards to YouTube. Thanks for watching. and wish you a nice weekend. And see you next streams. Bye bye. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.